Hey, hello, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to Icewind Dale. I've moved my mic right up in my face. Does that sound any different? I don't know. We shall find out. Well, I shall find out later on the VOD. Anyway, it is lovely to see everybody. Thank you for joining me, my lovely players, and Patch at the very least. Hey, QuestJunkers UK. Thanks for being here. Now, let us say a few shout-outs before we get rolling here. A big thank you, as always, to the VOD squad who catch up with us after we are live. It's always a pleasure to have you watch us and share our story whenever you can. And also a big shout-out to Syrinscape for the sound and sound effects that you'll be hearing throughout the session today. And also, the same goes for Dark Fantasy Studio. And also over on YouTube, RPG Music Maker Travis Savoy and Epic Journey, two channels which have amazing music for live streaming your D&D or other fantasy projects. Especially Travis Savoy has original fan-made compositions for Curse of Strahd and Rime of the Frostmaiden, which are fantastic, including this lovely piece of music right now, which is a deceivingly tranquil and gentle start to what's sure to be very perilous for all of our players. Now, moving on. Let us catch up with where we were last time. Having been set on the path of healing and helping others, Soyala the Tabaxi was looking for a way to heal Icewind Dale itself, relieving it of the endless winter that has gripped the region for nigh on 3 years. Her roaming clinic brought her, as it often did, to the larger town of Easthaven, where, checking her usual sources of gossip and mysteries, including halfling bard of the White Lady Inn, Rinaldo, she heard good news and bad. The murderer, guilty of killing various wilderness guides and other townsfolk that she had also thought may be responsible for the killing of those seeking to dodge the Right of Might sacrifice lottery, had been apprehended. And whilst she disapproved of the so-called Red Wizard being burnt at the stake, at least the killings would stop. Unfortunately, other townsfolk, fishers, had gone missing a few days earlier. Then it was that fate delivered an answer, and her new companions, 3 adventurers badly in need of her medical skills, who had tracked the ill-fated fishers to the lair of a nearby lake hag, escaping barely alive and cursed. These same 3 had also dealt with the murderer of the Right of Might Dodgers, not the Red Wizard as she'd thought, but another, possessed by the evil demigod Auril the Frostmaiden, the one responsible for the region's predicament. Seeing the chance to make things right, she asked to accompany them on their travels. Then the tavern's bard, Rinaldo, accosted them, telling his well-worn tale of the ghost of the White Lady of Lacdanashir, and inviting them to join him in a seance to contact the spirit that gives its name to the very inn in which they sat. We find ourselves seated in a circle in the back room of the inn. Incense heavy in the air, the candles mysteriously snuffed out, and an unnatural icy presence chilling the room and icing up the windows. But at the same time, the figure of Mockingbird can also be seen, crunching softly through the snowy streets of the town. Mockingbird.
Yes.
Where are you headed?
I would be headed first and foremost to get some less blood-stained clothes so that I can make a good impression. And then I will be going to a former co-worker of mine, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Now,
So I'd like to purchase some sort of heavy kind of gray furs, similar to the ones that I have right now. Something that wouldn't stick out too much in snow or in sort of a interior sort of setting.
okay. There is a slight problem. It is getting on a bit. But you are in a pretty large town here. So, can you give me an investigation check?
Yes. Oh, I am not in multiple at the moment. That is a 16 for investigation.
Okay, that's pretty good. It's not immediate, and I think maybe the first place you go to, somewhere that you regularly visited when you visited here before, you'd been here before, is unfortunately closed. But you do find somewhere, just closing up, an elderly dwarf.
Oh, all right. One last one for the day. In you come.
Thank you, thank you. And I don't suppose you do cleaning, do you? There's some holes in what I'm currently wearing, and it's a bit of mixture of my own blood and, well, other creatures. But I suppose you might be able to do such a.
That's what we call stubborn stains. We'll need till morning of the day after tomorrow.
Not a problem. And I'll kind of proceed to take off some of the furs and kind of like the poncho thing that I have and set it on the counter.
No, they're not. Let's go inside. Let's go inside.
Oh, I thought I was inside. Yeah.
Sorry.
I would wait until I'm inside.
Yeah, I know.
Not that it matters with the boots, but
yeah, right. Yeah, you feel fine. And he does look a little. Sorry, have my Icewind Dale accent on there. He does look a little bit confused. No, sorry. He looks quite confused at the light nature of your garments in the given situation that you are in, and he says, "So you'll be wanting similar, same size, I assume."
Yeah, similar, same size. If you wouldn't mind, though, make them look a bit noticed. Maybe make the patterns different, if that's doable.
No, can do.
I can throw in some extra change on the side for that.
No, much appreciated. We've got some special bits and bobs.
Fantastic.
And for a single gold piece, he outfits you with a very nice evening outfit, but nothing too fancy. Not something that would draw the eye of similar-minded figures to your own previous days.
Okay.
But something you could safely walk through town in and be accepted and welcomed in pretty much any establishment that you would care to visit.
Okay. I will when I can put that on. Does it have a hood on?
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
fantastic.
At the moment, everything does, I think. Up here.
I will
in these
thank
conditions.
him profusely and leave him the clothes on the counter and promise to be back within the next, when he said morning of the day after. And
Aye, that's right, aye.
put the gold coin, slide it along the table with an extra silver, and kind of duck my head.
We open at 9 when I can figure out when that is. This bloody darkness.
It's a bit of a struggle, isn't it? Well, a man of your stature and composure ought to be able to handle it.
I've been on service all my life. Maybe if I was one of my more inclined to be underground cousins, then it would be a bit easier, but, well, needs must. You make do.
We all.
We'll see you then.
All right. Thank you.
Aye.
And kind of do a small kind of bow and then exit the establishment and head to Prudence.
Indeed. Now, you know that your best bet is to head over to the other drinking establishment that you'd heard about during the day here from both Soyala and the captain of the guard, Arlagath.
The wet trout, right?
The wet trout, yes. Now, as you can see on the map, let me give that a ping for you, up in the northeast corner. Pretty much as far from the White Lady as possible, I'm afraid.
Mm.
Now, do you go through the streets or along the docks?
Whichever would have at least foot traffic or eyes on it right now.
Less eyes on the docks, but more interesting eyes.
Yeah, then I'll probably just take the docks.
Okay. As you make your way down from the clothiers and you head to the docks, you see the once stained and well-trodden boards and planks of the jetties covered in rime and hoarfrost and then slowly thickening snow as the night's fall comes in thick and fast. And you see smaller boats like the one you'd used during the day to head out onto the lake, hauled up onto the ice, still available for use. But then you see quite a lot of larger boats, and you know that East Haven had quite a hefty fishing economy. And you see that quite a lot of the larger boats that must have belonged to, bigger fishing groups or concerns, they're all completely frozen in ice, left abandoned next to the docks, completely useless in the current conditions. And you see something that you remember fondly riding once, the East Haven ferry, as you can see there on the map, right close to the White Lady, as soon as you come out of the White Lady, basically, which used to be the main transport across to Caer Donic and Caer Carnival, because it's easier, much easier to go across the water in those days than it was to go around the lake shore. And you see it dilapidated, forgotten, sadly, unable to ferry passengers either way, as it's completely entombed in its icy trap. And you kind of think on that for a second and then carry on padding up. Are you keeping an eye out on things or just relying on your natural senses?
I'd be keeping an eye out. It's been a while since I've been back in town, so...
Give me a perception check.
Just, noting how things change, if there's anything out of place that I haven't,
Yep.
seen before.
No problem.
There's that kid that's reaching for your purse right now.
Gosh darn kids.
At any given moment, there's like three people going for your pouch.
And then there's the
freaking one on perception.
Oh, nice.
I guess he's not gonna give you the eyes. He's not gonna give you the I've been caught look.
No, he's just gonna
give
me the loop-de-doop, dude. Take everything I own right off my body.
So you suddenly feel cold, and you think
and a lot lighter.
You think to yourself, I have these boots. Why do I feel cold? And you look down and you're barefoot.
Dun, dun, dun. No.
Bags gone, clothes gone.
Do like one of those jump cuts in like a TikTok or something? You just like jump up and it's just edits. You just drop down, it's just like completely naked. No. No, you're good.
Damn it.
I only said I had to watch my purse, not my everything else. No, you carry on your way, and you hear at one point a sudden flutter of wings, but I'm afraid with that non-natural one, it was at a -1. You did roll a 2, in fairness.
To my credit. Yeah.
To your credit, yes, which is why I'm describing anything at all. And at one point there is a flutter of wings, but you don't see what it belonged to. But that's all. You don't notice anything else. And you make your way up. And from a fair distance off, you start to hear the sounds of music and voices and revelry coming from the Wet Trout. As you were told last time, it is a much more rowdy, boisterous place than the White Lady. And as you come up towards those docks, you do see the lantern light and firelight spilling out of its front windows, making this dancing orange glow crisscrossed by shadows of people moving across the windows on the snow in front of the establishment that you remember fondly. And you remember meeting Prudence here a few times after she introduced you to the spot when you were first met in East Haven. What do you do?
I would just kind of survey it from a distance for a little bit, kind of take in the memory. Been a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And then see if I see Prudence from here, or...
No, not from outside.
No.
As you do, at one point the door kind of bangs quite violently open, and a few drunken people stumble out on their way home, having either gone hard or started early. I'm not sure which.
Just kind of smile and sigh. It's going to be a good night. And then I'll walk towards the establishment.
Mm-hmm. You push through the door, and as you do, the warmth washes across you, and you see all of the various people crowding this large room. Let me see if we have an official description for you. East Haven. Locations. Yes. So yeah, you feel a rush of warmth, not just from the heat of the fire and the massive bodies that's gathered here, but also from the nostalgia and the memories that you have here. And you see the great chimney that rises up in the center of the room, as the tap room here is split into two separate areas, and there's this massive fire with a twin hearth right in the middle of the building, and it has fires on both sides for each tap room. And you look over the groups of people here, lots of different people, kicking around here. See if I think I can kick this up even a bit more, because we've got quite a few people in here, I think. And you see all the various people around, lots of townsfolk, some people that are clearly from out of town, kind of sitting in the corner looking a bit out of place, looking around what's going on, some musicians playing away on their instruments, as we can hear. And you see, with a kind of crooked smile, like half smile to yourself, over behind the counter, you see the large white dragonborn, who is the owner and proprietor here, Nimitra Miskin. And she's clunking down ales here. And you see someone kind of like their elbow kind of slips off the bar, and they kind of like bang their chin on the bar as they're falling on their way to the floor. And she's saying, another one down. Any of you not gonna last the night? And she's like just like giving everyone a bit of crap. And the others are they're like complaining. There's some people complaining about how cold it was out when they were going after the knucklehead trout today. And she's like, I'll hear none of it. You shut your mouths. This is just a test. This is a test from our fair lady, and we'll get through it. And you remember very well that something that's interesting about Nimitra is that she is a completely unapologetic worshipper of Oral the Frostmaiden. And she just thinks that this is a challenge for Icewind Dale to overcome and get past. And this is, something to toughen them up and test their mettle, as it were. And she's fully approving of the Rite of Might sacrifices, and is very disappointed every time she's not picked by the lottery. She really fancies trying her hand against whatever beasties would be in that particular occasion. And she's laughing and like talking jovially. And Over at the table you knew they would be at, you see your friend, colleague, acquaintance, Prudence. And she's with a gaggle of cronies, a bunch of men and women from around town. Looks like they're from various different professions. And she's laughing and slapping her knee. And she looks quite sloppily drunk. And she's chatting away with all these people, and she smacks one of them on the back, and she looks like she's in the middle of a joke. And as you walk over, and you get within earshot, and she's like, "Well, that's what I told him. Like, I told him I'd rubber stamp anything he'd like." And everyone's all laughing, and they're like smacking each other on the arms, and sharing, plunking their tankards together and having a drink together. And she sees you coming. And she conspiratorially grabs her friends, like gathers them in. She's like, oh, look at this handsome fella. Look at this one. Ooh, you know what? This one's mine. You lot back off. You back off. What do you do?
I'll just kind of, smile and go up, pat her on the back, and say, "You remember you owe me that beer from last time. Don't go making any promises or making any bets you can't keep."
And she stands up, and as she does, you get a better view of her, and you see she's dressed quite primly. She's got quite smart clothes on, and I mean, she works at the town hall, and she's quite smartly dressed, but it's a bit disheveled from drinking and like having a laugh with her friends. And her hair was up in a bun, but that's coming apart somewhat, and like strands are falling down around her face, and she's like, "Oh, this one thinks I owe him a drink. We'll see what he owes me by the end of the night, eh?" And she laughs with her friends, and she's like, "Well, you lot don't wait up for me, all right? I think I've pulled here. Come on, handsome." And she like puts her arm around your shoulders and kind of leans heavily on you, almost stumbling as she leaves her group of friends, and they're all like laughing at her and like being unstable. And she's like, "Oh, I've had quite a bit to drink, I'm afraid, lover. I hope you're a gentleman." And
I can tell. Is something wrong? Has something gone on? You're not usually this drunk this early.
"Oh, he thinks he knows me. Well, he'll know me later on, eh? And she's like leaning on you, and she's like, "Oh, I need some fresh air. Come on, lover, let's go outside."
Gonna crack my neck and... Okay. Need to stretch. Let's go.
She looks cunningly, like a smile over to her friends as she leaves. And she's like, "See, told you, I've pulled." And she stumbles out of the door with you.
Gonna look back towards them. "Help me," as she kind of like drags me outside.
They're all like, completely unhelpful. And you stumble together towards the door, and you get outside, and it's the door, and it kind of clumps shut behind you, and she stands up. "What the bloody hell do you want?"
I got business to attend to. Why else would I seek you out right now? Or at all?
Yeah, well, of course. Now, I mean, it's good to see you. Although, and she gestures towards your face. Why are you wearing this whole thing? I haven't seen this. I almost didn't recognize you. I haven't seen it for ages.
Occupational hazard, I guess you could say. The new group expects it, so.
All right. I liked... What was that one? A couple of times ago. That was a good one. You should have kept that one. Yeah, the one with the curly hair.
The red hair?
Yeah. I like a bit of fire, eh?
Look around, make sure nobody's looking, and kind of pull up my hood, and then transform back into that old face that
there
he
is.
Good to see you again.
You too. You been safe?
No.
Well, I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. And yourself? You've been staying, warm as can be?
Prudence is doing fine. But, the next morning's gonna be a bit rough.
It always is.
Nah, it's alright.
Unfortunately, this is a bit more than a social visit. I'm on task and things have changed, and I think our superiors ought to be informed of several things.
Really? Do you need to report right now, or can it wait till tomorrow?
Actually, I don't quite know what they're doing, but I feel very, very irresponsible leaving them alone for any extended period of time. So probably a report right now would be best.
No, it's all right. There's a couple of the flying snakes in my cottage at the moment, so I can send one off tonight. No worries.
Great, I appreciate that.
No, it's fine. What's going on?
You
Give me this.
ready to take this down now?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, I can always remember.
Well, like I said, there's been some developments that Nerith and Scath ought to be aware of. First and foremost, one of our 4 has splintered from the group. We had a difficult experience around here near East Haven. And Gato, he opted to leave our merry band, so I can no longer keep an eye on him.
All right.
But we may have another promising member to fill his position.
Oh,
a
really?
healer, some notable ability.
Well, that should keep everyone safe and sound.
Hopefully a bit safer than previously.
shall see.
Regardless, the primary, or most urgent part of the message is Shandar Froth,
Yeah.
one of their underlings in Goodmead, is seemingly
It's
poised
under
to
the
try and
thumb.
kill one of mine. Under the thumb, exactly. Yeah. And anyways, he's in a position to kill one of the ones under my watch. It conflicts with my current assignment.
Well, if that one's in the way, you should go out the way, right?
I only learned about his intentions as we were leaving Goodmead. Specifically on the road out. I didn't have time to turn back and take care of it myself, or I would have. Regardless, one of the ones in my entourage right now, Toln, is the, and I'll kind of like ponder for a second, man Shandar is targeting.
Yeah, if this Toln's in the way, then it needs to be done, right?
No, Toln and several of the others in the group have incredibly high potential. And I think our, shall we say, patrons ought really consider the amount that they can leverage from Toln versus the paltry amount that Shandar would offer. And I expect that they would make a more business-oriented decision in that regard.
Interesting. Well, so you want Froth called off?
Called off, or in any way alleviated of his current path.
Noted. I'll see what's said. I mean, yeah, it's their decision. But yeah, I'll tell them what you said.
Of course. But do let them know that should anyone come calling, come knocking, come trying to, well, in any way harm me or any one of this group, that I will do what is necessary to keep my cover and protect some of these individuals who I've grown rather fond of.
You're getting ballsy in your old age, aren't you?
I don't know how old I am.
Well, when you could change this to look whatever you fucking look like.
Suppose I can. Well, let's try an older one, and I'll change to match her appearance.
Oh,
Ugh, I don't know.
You cheeky little
Bones
bastard.
creak a little bit.
Piss off.
And I'll just turn back to how I was when I met her.
It's the desk job. It's getting me down.
Honestly, I don't know how you do it. It seems boring.
No,
Quite intensely boring.
There's so much going on in this place. Hey, something, I don't know. Are your fingers as nimble and those feet as quiet as they used to be? There's something weird in the town hall at the moment, eh?
What do you mean? Not more than the captain.
There's something, some kind of statue or something, and it's made of some kind of dark black kind of crystal. I don't know. The speaker got it shut away from everyone and wouldn't let anyone go near it. After some of the guards went funny.
Funny how so?
they just went really aggressive and like really mean-minded all of a sudden. Like especially one guy is like one of the older guards. He was really gentle and pretty nice to work with and everything. He just became a right miserable bastard.
When did they acquire this statue? Do you know anything else about it? Where it came from?
Couple of 10 days ago. Yeah, it was some adventurers like you lot, some adventurers dragged it up from the bottom of the lake.
Ah, well.
I think it was. That's right. It wasn't a statue. It was like a figurehead. A ship's figurehead.
Well, I mean, a little bit of destabilization isn't necessarily bad for business, is it? Is there any reason you're invested in this?
Well, I can't report what it is. We're not allowed near the thing. And that's not my speciality.
Well, I'd have a hard time convincing my group to go and see something that, they don't have a particular investment in. Do you know of anybody who'd be willing to pay to get this sorted out? Or would this be a freelance sort of affair?
Well, no, I mean, the bosses will, pay for you if you figure out what it is. There's the reward for information as usual. And
okay.
My undying gratitude. I hate filing an incomplete report.
Should I try to convince them to seek out this information, find out about this statue?
I don't know if you have the chance, right? If you have the chance to go to the city hall, and during the visit with your group, if you should become a stray, it's a big place, lots of halls, lots of corridors, easy for a boy to get lost.
Of course.
And
okay, yeah.
If needs be, I could make myself scarce when I see you arrive, and you could be me for a bit. If you can do that voice, it's a pain in the ass.
Do I know what kind of leverage she would pull in the town hall?
She's a clerk there, but she's already said she's not allowed to go where that is, so it might not be the best idea.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just nod, and that can be arranged.
All right.
I'll see to it in the next couple of days, if possible. This group is pretty skittish and likes to get about, so to speak.
All right.
Within a week, we've already visited. This is the 3rd township, so we'll see what we can do in our packed schedule.
Well, it's good to have eyes on the different spots,
Of course.
So you're gonna head back to them?
Yeah. I think I'll head back, and I'll just kind of like open my arms for a hug.
Yeah, she gives you a hug and a big pat on the back, and she's like, say hello again before you go, eh?
I'll do what I can. I would like an actual social call. You still owe me that beer.
Hey, Prudence has forgotten, but I haven't. All right.
And I'll just kind of like not bow my head and then turn around and walk away.
Have a good one. You hear the door crack open behind you, and she's like, well, that didn't take very long, did it now? She stumbles back in.
Just sigh and shake my head, and put up my hood and keep walking.
And you head back. Now, meanwhile, back at the White Lady Inn, in the spacious back room, draped with coloured fabrics and incense smoke hanging in the air, we return to the seance. Now, as we said last time, Rinaldo had bid you all seat yourselves in a circle and join hands, but Soyala was separate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you doing with yourself, Soyala?
I'm going to be apprehensively watching as they were beginning it.
Okay.
I'm on standby for anything that possibly could go awry.
Excellent. So, as we left this last time, Rinaldo had been chanting with you and the other people in the ring. Lady who watches from the lake, come to us in our darkest hour. Tell us what you've seen.
Lady who watches from the lake, come to us in our darkest hour. Tell us what you've seen. And as he did so, as I said before, the candles snuffed out one by one, and the room went deathly chill, and all of the windows iced over. And Ronaldo kind of looks around apprehensively. He's like, "Oh, I think she's here. I think it's worked. Quick! What? You got questions? Come on."
Oh.
Now, just before we do this, can you roll me a group persuasion check? A pair persuasion check?
Okay. Oh no.
Only a 10.
10, okay. Mame,
7.
a 7.
7.
Okay. Noted. So, please, Mame, what question do you have for the White Lady?
I'm looking around, seeing what's happening, the windows frosting. Lady. Ma'am. Kind of scared. I'm a chicken. Both ways. May I ask, do you know of where your husband's possessions are, by chance?
And Ronaldo's like, "Oh, that was my question." And there's a sound as in the ice on the windows, writing starts to be scratched in the frost on the panes of glass. And you see, it says, Lac Dinashir.
That's very specific.
Oh, can you maybe, ma'am, tell us where exactly it is? I mean, a lady such as yourself, who is in this fantastical form, would not need of any physical items.
There's a pause. And then, again, that squeaking, scraping sound through the ice. And it just says, in the mud. And Ronaldo kind of looks at you, Tom, and he's like, "Yeah, you have a go, you have a go."
Of the caves on Lac Dinashir, how many people have left since the beginning of this winter? Sorry, John.
It's okay. There's a stirring in the air and a kind of swirling of air currents around the room, and you see the smoke shifting and moving as the air circulates. And then suddenly, one of the people that we can see here in the picture, with their hood pulled down over their face, intently concentrating on this ritual. And you can see the others are still kind of repeating that chant over and over under their breath whilst you're asking these questions. One of them starts to cough, and there's a splash of water from under their hood onto the floorboards in the middle of the circle. And then this long white hair tumbles out from under the hood, hanging over their face. And you hear a voice. Why have you called me here from my beloved? Can you hear that okay?
Yes.
This is okay. Can make it up. Sorry, I'm not sure how it came across.
It came across perfectly fine.
Good.
Around. Just look at Ronaldo. We seek answers to the mysteries of Lakadenashir.
Down in the mud, there lies my beloved.
Where is the mud?
Deep in the bottom of the lake.
Look to Mame, look to Sayala, look to Ronaldo. That's my question.
Can I ask something, or is it just one question?
Just go, just ask.
Okay. May we ask if it's near the ports or more towards where the caves are? And then I tuck my head back into my feathers, kind of scared.
It was in the middle of the lake that my rat husband tried to make away with my beloved.
Who is your what is your beloved?
Everything I worked for, I earned, and he claimed.
What do you want?
To be left alone.
Mama says under her breath, "That bastard husband, how could he?"
Yes.
Will anything bring you peace?
You. It is you who have pulled me from the lake here. You who have trapped me here with this horned, winged thing. Why? Why have you put me here with this beast? It was gone, and now you have brought me back to its side. I cannot escape. I cannot return. You. And at that point, all of the windows smash in all of the panes, and a bunch of the commoners and Rinaldo yelp and duck out of cover, into cover, sorry, and they break hands and stop chanting, and with that, the candles reignite, and the room gets a little bit warmer.
All right.
right, Ronaldo. What exactly are you playing at this time?
What do you mean?
Who's gonna pay for the windows?
Is this another one of your tricks? I'll admit it's not as cheap as your others.
Oh, no, that was the White Lady. You heard her? That was the real deal. I need a drink.
What has happened to the other people in the group that were in the seance?
They actually look okay, except that one where the voice was coming from that had the white hair, and they're still sat like slumped.
I'm gonna go to check on them, see how they're doing.
Mhm.
Kind of do like a snap in front of him if I'm getting a reaction. Do you hear me?
Still kind of like slumped over with the the hood like pulled down over their
I'm going
face.
to move the hood back.
And as you do, you pull the hood back slowly, and you recoil in shock and surprise as you see a gaunt skin pulled tight over the bones of the skull of a near desiccated corpse.
Oh goodness, it's not breathing anymore.
And the couple of people that were still in the room, kind of like just out of surprise and just being shaken by the experience, they just sit there like, oh gods, oh good gods, and they run and just like barrel out of the door into the night. And the old bartender's
He's
like,
not of the living anymore.
Mame, Toln, you're the only two left.
Did
Ronaldo
Ronaldo
also
leave?
left?
Right when I said, I need a drink, he stumbled out to the bar. He left.
I guess we'll run after Ronaldo then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does this corpse? So this corpse previously was an actual person, and after being possessed, I presume.
It was the one that coughed up the lake water and had the white hair.
Okay, let's go after Ronaldo.
He's at the bar, sat up on one of the high stools, shaking his head, knocking back some of the spirits that they offer there. He's like,
if Ronaldo speaks Dwarvish, he hears Taln say something extremely insulting in Dwarvish, but then he walks up because what did you do? What?
Oh, I was more successful than I thought I could be, hey? Who knew those old seance things worked?
Yeah. The guy's dead.
What guy?
The guy who coughed up the seawater, he's dead.
I can confirm he's no longer living.
There's a clatter as he
Whatever sort of
drops.
seance that you used, it took his life.
Oh. That wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to be anything like that. It's just... It's one of those things you hear about. It's like... Well, yeah, those board things with the letters in common over them.
Where did you hear the seance from?
It was like... There was like this fortune teller came through town. Yeah, a couple of days ago. You must have seen her. She was... She had the those long, the black shawl on, and there was like the coins round the edge of the hood.
Do I recall this?
You didn't notice her, no?
No?
What's this winged thing she was talking about?
I don't bloody know. Horns?
Yeah, she
Wings?
spoke of being trapped.
Sounds like a bloody demon.
Either way, she is not happy, and she has stolen a life for that.
What's going on here? And you turn at the sound, and you see Captain Arlagath has come back. As promised, she was going to bring your reward for dealing with the fishes.
It seems Ronaldo's antics have caused a death. He held a seance, which he apparently has no magical ability to understand what he's doing, and it caused someone to die.
And Arlagath, your jaw stiffens, it clenches the teeth. Ronaldo, is this true? It's like, Captain, look, it's me. It's real. I've been here in the White Lady as long as I know. I didn't mean nothing. It was just a thing. We were just gonna try and find some treasure.
For what it's worth, I don't think that he did it on purpose, but he's certainly incompetent and caused someone to die.
And Arlagath looks at you, Tom nods. The shoe fits. Now, Ronaldo, don't take this personally, but you know, this has to be interviewed and talked about and investigated fully. You're gonna have to come with me to the town hall. Just until we get this sorted out, at least. And Ronaldo's like, yeah, Captain. And he finishes his drink. And he looks at all of you. And he's like, I'm sorry. Butterban. He looks over at the old barkeep who's still looking half confused, half shocked by what he's hearing. I'm so sorry. And Arlagath reaches out and firmly, but not aggressively, takes Ronaldo by the upper arm. This is for you. And Tom, she passes you a small bag, as promised.
Thank you. We will be back at City Hall tomorrow.
Yes.
What should we do with the body?
I'll send some of the watch. And strangely, Mummy, she looks very pointedly at you. And she's like, and Mummy, you'll be there tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be in town hall.
Understood. Where's your other friend?
He stepped out.
Said had some
Had
business.
some errands or something to attend to.
Really?
He left before the seance and to meet someone, but he should be back soon. We'll tell him what happened.
Yes. Archibald, seal off that room. No one's to enter until my men arrive.
Also,
he's
the
like,
windows were
yes.
Blown out.
And Barton's like, oh, bloody hell. That's gonna cause a nasty chill.
Probably so.
And he's like, Captain, I'll have some of my staff keep an eye on the windows and I'll make sure no one's nipping in that way, fussing with things. And the captain's like, very well. I will send some of the watch as quickly as I can. Till tomorrow. And she marches Ronaldo off, who's just completely given up, and he's just like hanging dejectedly, almost hanging in Argalath's grasp.
I just like, wait, Ronaldo, I know you didn't mean for this to happen, but if you tell things truthfully, I think you'll be fine, but just
Hey, this isn't one of me stories. This one will be all true. I promise. I promise, Captain. He's like, the better for you. And marches him off in the direction of the town hall. Shortly after, Mockingbird, you return to a very somber White Lady Inn than when you left.
Okay.
Even quieter than it's reputed to be.
Do I see some of the commotion from a distance, or am I just arriving with the windows shattered and...
That room was on the back, so it's not noticeable from the direction you come from. And Aragath and Rinaldo have left and gone inland towards the town hall by the time you get back. So you just walk in, you're like, hey everybody.
Tom's looking in the bag.
I leave you all alone for 30 minutes. 30 minutes? What happened? Just kind of... Wait, is the corpse still there in the room?
A different room.
It's closed and sealed
yeah,
off.
it's just
Okay.
guarded off, yeah.
A lot happened.
The short story is a seance and a death.
A seance. Huh.
So, one of the bards, he came up to us saying he wanted to do a seance about the White Lady who was guarding her husband's treasure, which actually, after doing the seance, happened to be her money, which is buried deep in the mud in the lake.
In the middle of the lake.
During this, in the middle of the lake, but during this seance, one of the people in the ring that was doing it got possessed by the White Lady, and when she possessed him, answering our questions, took his life.
It's a shame. Did the guard captain come after that?
She did. She brought this stuff. I'm just looking at it now.
Was she acting strange, by any chance?
Maybe? I mean, but
No, I
you
don't
could,
think so, other than the, commotion that was happening.
yeah, any strangeness I could easily chalk up to,
What happened? Right. I've learned something about something that might have been pulled out of the lake recently, and it appears to have been. It appears to be being kept in the town hall, rather tucked away, and it appears to be making some of the guard a little bit less sane than usual. It's something I have an interest in looking into, so I was curious if any of the guard had been acting up.
yes, it seems quite strange.
Might be connected to this white lady.
Perhaps.
Whoever was pulled out.
You remember Ronaldo said that he was basically given the supplies by this fortune teller that recently came to town. That's suspicious, no?
Perhaps this fortune teller knew about the statue, and White Lady feeding the story to him, knowing about the statue. Perhaps this statue contains White Lady's precious, or is her precious?
Yes, from the check up from the middle of the lake.
Information is pretty scant on this thing. As I said, it appears to have made some of the guard go quite a bit mad. And something of that nature locked up in town hall makes me suspect the guard captain somewhat. I'm a bit averse to authority myself, so maybe that's just me pointing or drawing lines where they don't belong. But I'd say it deserves a little bit of a looking into.
Perhaps
possible.
Perhaps when we go tomorrow, I could ask her about, not about that, but I'll ask her about, my comrades, everything, to see who left for the caves, to see which ones passed away. and then ask about Ronaldo to see how he's doing because I'm actually really worried about him. And if anything else has happened with anyone in town hall, any suspicious behavior because a lot of crazy things have been happening. So maybe we could take it out of her that way.
Now, if the three of you can get enough eyes on you, not necessarily make enough of a commotion, but get enough eyes on you, preoccupy enough people, I'm pretty skilled with infiltration. I can get back there and maybe see this thing firsthand.
I mean, if you feel confident, I can make some beer.
I like this. Yeah, that would help a lot. You do have business in the town hall, right?
I do. I was planning on giving people beer anyway, but if I
Maybe a
need
tasting.
to give them more beer, then
This will do nicely. Before that, how many other people are in this bar right now, John? Is it just us?
I think everyone's scattered except the barkeep.
Yeah, it has emptied. Like the few people that didn't realize what had happened and were still like finishing their drinks have like politely, paid up and headed home.
So I'm gonna kind of get closer to the group, make sure like my back is facing the bartender, and it's high time I informed you all of something, and this may be something that I will rely upon heavily tomorrow. Just so that you're aware, and I'm gonna like turn to face them, and then I'm gonna shape shift my face into Garo's, and then kind of shake my face a little bit, and then just turn it back to mine. And
I'm gonna just be like, are you perhaps, was it a changeling?
And I'll drop all of the facade for now and just show what is a very pale, sort of like dry, sort of sunken face. And just kind of shrug my shoulders. I woke up on the ice 2-3 years ago with this form.
So the one you've changed into there is the one you woke up as?
Yeah, this is the natural.
Yeah. Mame. Thank you. I've been waiting for this. Mame. As surprised as you were that he could change his face and change into that of Garo's, this is more surprising.
Oh, really?
He just changed.
With the face I see?
He just changed into the mountain guide that you hired in Luskan, and Luskan University hired to lead you through the mountains, that you traveled all the way from Luskan with, up through the Spine of the World mountains, until you got separated from the group.
Oh God. Bird.
Carl, do you have your original name? The name you would have been using in Luskan?
Yes, I would have. And then I'll just kind of dip my head a bit, and then with kind of a dry, kind of a little bit more raspy voice, my true name is Yig.
And that was the name of the guide, Mame.
You perhaps don't remember me?
I remember nothing.
Yig, Mockingbird. You're from Luskan. Me and my group, we hired you to bring us through the world spine to get us to the 10 towns. You're from Luskan. You're our mountain guide. Do you not remember anything?
I have vague memories of Luskan, but nothing since flashes of the city streets and buildings of said town.
We actually have met 3 years ago. Me and my group, we hired you to get us through the spine to get to 10 towns, but I got separated from everyone, so you continued with my group, and so I don't know what happened with you or my group until you met. Now,
Well,
what happened to you? Well,
I
you don't
don't
remember. Oh,
know. I don't know.
Now, Yig, Mockingbird, as you hear Mame talk about being separated and all of these things being told to you, you do get flashes of memory, just fleeting glimpses that even as you try and grasp them, they chase away from your fingertips. A massive blizzard. Worse than any that should have been in the mountains. Desperately trying to keep these witless, foolish academics together and stop them from killing themselves. And of course it was the Gallus that went strutting off, curious about some rock formation or another, and disappeared.
Do I remember what became of the rest of the group?
No, you do not.
I'm going to grab a chair for him because this looks like a lot that he's taking in right now, and I don't want
Yeah.
him to pass out. So I'm gonna just guide him as he's in this like trance to a chair.
And the barkeep comes over, he's like, good meat. And offers you a cup.
Thank you.
with my hood still up, I'll just kind of reach out and grab it and thank you. Take a big drink and just sigh. I remember some pieces now. You walked on ahead of us, and I was left with the rest of your academic team. What became of them, I don't know. For now, everything after that is blank, till I woke up on the sheet. Regardless, if I didn't get them here safely, I apologize on behalf of my previous life. I don't know who I was before I left that town, but I fear I did not wake up the same. And I'll just kind of shake my head slightly and put on my normal, sort of pale-skinned exterior, Mockingbird.
Yeah.
well,
Gotten quite used to this one.
Well, Mockingbird, I could probably say from assuming with your mother figure and the articles that we found in the caves, I can assume you and my group came here to this town and went to the caves where that hag, annoying she could hear me, that fucking hag,
We don't
probably
know if she can
consumed
hear us. Just see what we can see.
Oh, no, that fucking hag probably ate my academic team. But we'll see how many members left from this town once we go to town hall and I check the records to see who departed from here.
I am curious. I feel like we owe Gato a bit of an explanation as well.
And you know, Tolm has just like a static face. It's very difficult to get a read on him sometimes. Why did you choose to tell us now?
Like I said, tomorrow with the infiltration, this is a skill that I've used several dozens and dozens of times since I've woken up in my line of work. I may very well use it tomorrow, and I don't want you to blow my cover should you see it for the first time. Up until now, there's been no reason for me to use it, and I've been comfortably wearing this exterior without much need to change.
So Do all of you have this?
No, I'm just a robot person.
I'm a gallus. I'm a chicken. You see me who I am. I'm just an academic that came from the south that hired this man, came here, got lost in a blizzard, popped up 3 years later, and then I met them, joined their group, we went on an adventure, but I'm just a simple chicken.
I'm just a simple country chicken.
Uncle Doodle Doo.
You know, just a moment. I need to look at some character sheets really quick.
Yeah,
also
just as
I gotta
as
kill
I
it.
thought the one
Just-
not strange person turns out to be also strange.
Yeah.
And then
I
we
mean-
have our here robot friend where we fought a animatronic monster near a lake who happens to share characteristics of that monster. And I'm just
So danger seems to follow you, is what I can tell.
You know what? I took a quick look. Now's as good a time as any.
We're all sharing tonight.
No, we're gonna
suffer from alcoholism.
leave it at this for now.
Uh huh.
So yeah, when he said, "I'm just a robot person," something seemed off.
I mean, he is a robot.
He is a robot person.
That's already off.
Who are you people?
For real.
what are you?
Gonna leave it at that.
Mockingbird, cross that out.
Oh, it seems we all have something to hide.
I just want to help people, and I want to help the people in Icewind Dale. I want this
Completely
sunset
ignoring
to end.
what you just said. I'll put my hand on your shoulder. When you're ready to tell us,
Oh,
you're ready to hear.
I know what your passive insight is. Get that knowledge.
Whatever troubles you, our new friend, we will listen to you when you're ready to tell us.
Thank you. Normally it's the other way around. Normally I have to comfort the.
Come on, Ciala.
Platinum.
Sharing is caring. Come on. No. So, you sit back, take in this new information. Mame, as the academic, you're coming at this from various different angles, filing all that information away, linking it to other things that you've seen and heard. Meanwhile, Taln pulls open Captain Aragath's bag,
So moving on.
and inside you see a copper tube, some kind of spell scroll tube, you would warrant, and a dice bag, decent sized dice bag sized grey cloth pouch
Take
with
that out.
all kinds of forest creatures embroidered on the outside and a kind of nice geometric pattern around the top and bottom. And you see, as you look at the different stylized animals, reminding you a little of the cave paintings and things that you've seen, but a little more sophisticated. There's a weasel, a rat, a badger, a boar, a panther, a giant badger, a direwolf, and then right on the seam, in the kind of central point where the handle also comes up, a giant elk. And they both resonate quite magically.
I'll take a look at the spell scroll.
It is a spell scroll of Fireball.
Ooh.
Oh
So
my
so next time you misspeak and say fireball, I'll assume you've read the scroll. No, fireball, damn it!
He's gonna roll it up, put it back into the case. I'm gonna need this one.
Tone, why are you sweating?
I didn't know you could sweat.
The salivation.
You're
has moved
shaking.
Condensation?
My precious.
Now he holds up the pack of animal carvings. This is quite odd. It's gonna. Is it tied on the top? Just like a lace thing.
Let me very quickly whip this together for you here. It is, there's a drawstring that's looped in and out, snakes in and out of the top of the bag.
Yeah. So he'll undo the drawstring and kind of cautiously open the bag.
Nothing visible inside.
This is weird. I don't know what this is.
Can I see that pouch?
Yes. I have a pretty good idea what it is.
Shh. Hush now.
If you would like, if Mame is going to take it, I will give her a touch of guidance.
Okay.
Be careful whatever's in there.
It looks like this. Oh, sorry, I should close this East Haven picture for the people at home.
What the hell is that?
I think Carl also knows what it is.
I remember when they were blue.
There are 3 different colors.
Oh, really?
Is blue one of them? I'm not sure. Grey, rust, or tan. This is a tan one. The one that you've received is very similar to this, but grey in color.
Well,
I put my hand in the bag.
Okay. And you feel what you can see in the picture there. Something small and furry, kind of spherical, inside the bag. And you feel the urge to throw it across the room.
Can I?
Do it.
I take out a little fur ball.
Yep.
And I throw it across the room like, yeet.
Please roll me a d8.
Okay. Nothing can possibly go wrong, like I said. But then the
that was the
seance
last
happened
time
and then...
anybody ever drank at the White Lady Inn again.
Yeah, apparently I should not recommend this place.
4.
A 4. Okay. Well,
Big it.
this one even rhymes. As you toss the little fur ball across the room, it lands and with a expands out. I messed up my voice with that. It expands out into a boar.
Ooh. Wait.
Excuse me, easy for me to say.
Okay.
And there is
So
a
I can
boar suddenly in the room. It's like, and it comes like looking around, and it comes trotting over, and it's like nudges at you, Mame, and then
Oh, there, and I...
plumps down on its haunches, and just like looks up.
Can I roll something to have heard of this before?
Say again, sorry?
Can I roll something to have heard of this before?
Roll me an Arcana. Yeah.
look at the bag, and I can only assume that this bag and these furry little balls can, at these pictures on the slide, mean whatever. This bag contains animals, guys.
Just a 13.
Whatever.
What are we starting, a zoo? We already have a chicken and a cat. We need a pig for.
Toln, you know, beyond that, the fact it's called a bag of tricks. And as you've already seen, it can conjure animals, but beyond that, you don't know any more details.
Yeah, I was reading about this new kind of beer that would use this magical thing that just kind of randomizes, and you wouldn't know. And anyway, you're right. It contains animals, and I think when you pull it out and you throw it, yeah.
How do I put it back? I'm sorry, I love you, little piglet boar, but can't have you out.
Let's see here. Does it actually? Can you tell it to disappear? Let's tell.
I'm afraid if I have you out, these humans will probably want to consume you. So, it'll be in our best interest if you were to go back in the pouch.
It just
At this moment.
looks up at you, kind of like wrinkles its nose, snuffles a bit, and then confusedly kind of furrows its brow. And doesn't budge.
I get the bag.
So we can conjure food.
It turns
I
on
grab
you.
the boar.
Kind of slowly steps up onto all four legs.
Just kidding. Just kidding. We accept all animals here.
Sorry, Ciala, you were going to say?
Oh, no, I was just saying it looks like we have another companion, and it doesn't look like it wants to go away.
I'm just like, I just have the bag and I'm like putting it on its head, trying to stuff it back in. I think.
It does not work, I'm afraid.
Okay, you're gonna bunk with me tonight. Let's go.
I need a beer. I'm gonna finish mine and then go back to the bar.
Okay. So yeah, you and after all this, some of the watch have arrived, and they're on the door and outside by the windows, and there's a investigator comes and starts to look over the scene, asking, and they ask you a few questions before you retire for the night. Nothing too taxing. You are good people in the eyes of the watch here, and there's nothing too troublesome for you. But you finish the evening and retire. Soyala, you to your regular room that you've been staying in for the last few days, and the rest of you to... How do you want to do this? Soyala, there is an extra bed in your room that Mame could use, which would mean they'd only need one more room, or they can get separate rooms.
I thought their establishment was provided by.
It is. Yep. Yeah, I'm just asking. Yeah, for like logistics wise. Yeah, it's not a money problem.
No, I'll probably be on my own after hearing all this crazy stuff and seeing all this danger right now.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
I'm a little like.
Sleep well. Muffle behind the door. Yes. So you all head off to bed, and the three of you suddenly collapse, thankfully, into the soft embrace of the modest but nice beds that they have here at the White Lady Inn. But the comfort and the relief of that is short-lived as sleep takes you, and with it come dreams. all of you, all four of you, although you don't know it yet, you all experience the same mix of images swirling and moving through your dreaming eyes. Even you, Tom, in your quiet state, you get these images in your mind as you rest motionless against the wall of the room. And first, it starts with the growing green lights as the aurora of the Frostmaiden traces its sickly green glow across the sky of Icewind Dale, ensuring, inevitably once more, that the sun will not rise the next day. But then swirling in and out of the aurora, you see a ghostly figure, long white hair drifting and pooling around the face, obscuring the features, making it impossible to see as the white lady moves desperately this way, that way, as if searching for a way back beneath the waters of Lake Dunashire. But she can't. And as she desperately seems to be looking for a way out, a way to return to her precious, her beloved, darkness unfurls. Darkness that spreads across your dreaming vision, obscuring your vision of the White Lady, obscuring your view of the aurora, as giant bat-like wings unfurl, and you see a huge torso, atop which you see a horn, ape-like head with a dog-like muzzle covered in red scales, the two massive horns off, almost like a Texas steer, off on the sides, as it bucks and roars in fury and anger and chaos, lashing out at everything around it in violence, mean-heartedness, and general malice. And it's that vision that stays with you as it starts to fade darker again, and those wings furl across the vision, completely blacking out everything. And you're lost to deep sleep until the morning. Which you assume it must be when you wake up. As usual, it's pitch dark.
What a good night. So relaxing.
Soyala, you knew who that was. You've heard stories. Cautionary tales, toned down versions, folk stories from adults. More colorful, scary ones from friends when you were a child. Back up there in Lonelywood. That was the demon, Ertu. that it is said in lore and folk stories, it is said to have terrorized Icewind Dale many, many years ago.
I'll be right back. I think the neighbor is getting irritated with. I'll be right. I gotta move to a different room.
No problem.
Okay, and you said that was the demon, and did it have another name? You said
The name,
the
it was
demon,
a
or-
demon that was called Ertu, E-R-R-T-U.
Okay.
Mhm.
Got it.
I just finished Assassin's Creed Origins a couple of days ago.
Mm.
Got Caesar on the mind. But this is a canonical name. I think this might be the module paying homage to one of the old video games. I'm not sure. I haven't checked it out properly.
Yeah, it might be one of the CRPGs. Sounds
okay.
familiar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yes, as
Alright,
a local,
but,
you've definitely heard that. And actually, Mami, give me a history check.
Okay. One of my good rolls. 18?
18. Okay.
18.
Yeah, you two recognize the imagery, and you have read in your various studies and wanderings through the great libraries that you've had access to, and you also recognized and noted the connection with Icewind Dale.
Mm.
Still, with that on the mind, you convene down in the tap room. A simple but warming breakfast is served.
Ooh,
Mama,
is
yes.
my boar still with me?
When
My
you-
boar and Tressum still with me?
The Tressum was curled up on top of your bed, making it extra snug. Although it looked a bit disgruntled because you seemed to have been sleeping quite restlessly with those visions. But there was no sight of the boar.
For better or worse.
Loose.
Okay.
Stuart,
Is
it's-
any
it's a
the
huge
door
crash
broken
from the
or
kitchen.
window broken?
Nope.
Can I see if there's like the same amount of balls as yesterday, or one hasn't increased?
When you look into the bag, you can't see anything. When you put your hand into the bag, you can feel a single furball.
Okay. Then I'll just be like, okay, no boar. Maybe I escaped. I will not tell anyone. And head downstairs.
Problem solved.
Did you get hungry, Mom? Eh? Where'd your friend go?
How
he's
dare
still.
you? Sorry, Mommy.
He is sleeping in the room like a angel. Yes.
Give me a deception check.
One of my
Wait,
worst rolls.
Are you talking about the Tressum or the boar?
Boar.
Ah, okay.
7.
She's lying. She ate it.
Mame.
She ate it.
Mame. You should have saved some pork for the rest of us.
No, I didn't eat it.
Okay. Sure. Huh?
The barkeep's
Anyways.
like, no, I haven't had bacon for ages. Greedy.
Neither have I.
True. Okay, so you eat, you have a nice meal. Tom, you wrap up warmly. Nobody else does. And you head out into the streets. So, what's the plan? I think I have a good idea, but I'm asking anyway.
We go to the city hall.
Okie doke. By the way, the speaker will be very happy that you keep calling it a city. Doesn't quite meet that level of.
I'll kind of stop as we're walking along, and I'll just kind of ask the group, do you... I don't know if this is a weird thing to ask, but I've never had so much money before, at least in present memory. And I feel like I should kind of go purchase some things before we get into a next bout of what is probably going to be fights and things of that nature. Do you mind if we wait an hour or so and I can go purchase some things? I imagine you might have some things you could acquire as well.
I don't expect to be fighting anytime soon.
I
In
mean, you
City
never
Hall.
know. You never know.
Yes, I would like to stop by the clinic to let Alvin know of my newly acquired comrades.
Long rest, right?
Yes, you may all take the benefits for long rest.
I gotta re-prepare everything. I do not need
Mame.
these spells for today.
What about you,
As
Mame?
well as letting him know of some, the death we've already had and seance, and
But one thing,
I'm
sorry.
sure that'll.
After you've taken the long rest, please minus 1 point of psychic damage from that rather unpleasant night that was spent.
Ooh. Need some Tylenol.
I was at 26, took a long rest to 27, psychic damage back to 26. Okay.
Okay, so
What about you, Mame? Your coin purse getting a little bit heavy?
Yeah, maybe I should go perhaps look at my clothes, purchase some new clothes like you have, I see, and maybe get something for this fellow. Like points at my Tressum.
Yeah, I know that. I hear they make small sweaters for animals like that. And wrap it up nice and warm like.
Tressum side-eyes you, Mockingbird.
So many animal
like-
companions in this group.
Hey, at least it's not Mame anymore. Just axe beaks that go for Mame. This burb on burb violence. Can't stand it. Okay, so let us do that off stream. We shall.
Okay.
This is a pretty decent sized place, so you can let me know what you're after in messages, and minus the relevant funds for that, and we can sort that out. And as you're coming to the end of this shopping trip, you suddenly hear running feet through the snow,
God.
and the chink of armor, and you hear you're out of the way, and you see a couple of watch running as fast as they can in all their gear down the street, having spotted you down the far end of this street that you just came out of a shop into.
They're running towards us or past us?
Yes, and they got their hands up, and they're, oh, there you are. Thank goodness. We couldn't find you at the White Lady. They said you were out shopping. You gotta come. Captain Arlagath needs to see you right away. Quickly, come on.
Sorry, Tolan wanted to buy some things. Sorry. Let's go.
This is the end of the shopping expedition that you've had here.
Yeah.
You have everything that you wanted to get within reason. and
I assume I reconvened with them at this point because I had wanted to stop by the clinic. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. If you go and see Alvin there, and he was delighted, but unsure what to do, and should that mean he should stop having the room ready, or do you want to maybe still use that, or maybe if you'll come back? And that went on for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you had arranged somewhere to meet whilst they were in their shopping expeditions here, or they came to Alvin's with you. But these guards have quickly come running, and they're like, "Come on, at once, please!" And they lead you as quickly as possible back towards the town hall. And as you arrive there, you see that the exterior of the town hall is more watchmen on it than you would think normal. And there are various watchmen stationed around the square in front where there's still the kind of smudge remains of the spot where the evil wizard was burned yesterday. And the guards quickly usher you up the steps and into the main doors, and you head into this main entranceway of the town hall. And you see Captain Arlagath there talking urgently with someone on the staff. And Mockingbird, you see Prudence crossing a corridor down the way, quickly carrying a bunch of documents or something, something in a box, as she's ferrying something across the way. And Arlagath sees you all, and she's like, there you go. It's bad to worse, I tell you. Come with me. And she escorts you to a meeting room, fairly comfortable. There's a large wooden table, nicely carved wooden table, not polished or anything, but good, just general workaday meeting table with several chairs around it. And she's like, grab a seat, please, all of you. The speaker will be with us shortly, but let me catch you up to speed.
As we make our way to the table, since I'm pretty sure I would never have been in the town hall building.
No, I don't think so.
I'll be taking, kind of like or sort of like trying to memorize like the layout of the building and how many guards and how many people are where and things like that.
Yes, indeed. And you all take a seat. And Arlagath plumps wearily down in the chair, just off to the left of the head of the table.
What is it now?
Happened.
If you don't mind my asking.
There's been an attack. During the night, forces unknown broke into the town hall, killed the guards that were on duty, and took something that we were safekeeping here.
Oh? And what were you safekeeping?
I'll let the speaker finish that story. He knows more about it than I do. Mammy, could we have a word before the speaker gets here?
Sure.
Is it okay? Sorry, just could you follow me?
Sure.
And
I
she
follow
leads.
the captain.
Yeah, she leads you out of that door, and as she goes out, you see there are a couple of guards like on the door of the room that you're in, but not like keeping you in here by any means. Just like guarding it. Just seems that security is generally heightened as there's been this attack. And Arlagath Mame takes you to a smaller, cozier room, and takes a seat and offers one to you as well. And she's like,
Sit down.
Mame, thank you. This is something I couldn't talk about yesterday, and I'm sorry for making you wait. It's something that's too sensitive for a tap room. Something that we needed to talk privately about. And
See.
it's about the academic mission you had ties with. You remember?
Yes.
I reacted when you mentioned them yesterday, remembering that they had come through town.
Mm-hmm.
It is...
They come to...
Sorry, yes, please.
Sorry, please continue.
No, please, ask any questions you have.
So, they did come to town, they came to town hall, all of them?
Yes, there was a group of 5. Three researchers, a Sherpa of sorts, and a guide. Someone apparently had brought them through the mountains.
Yes.
And they met here, and they had a look at our libraries here and our records here in the town hall, and they, as I said, they seem to be interested in an archaeological site out on the lake. It seems like it might have been this cave, this frost giant burial cave that you had the unfortunate discovery. I'm afraid it seems your colleagues were taken by that lake hag that was mentioned yesterday. For they never returned.
God.
And you said you found belongings of theirs?
Yes, we found their packs, not their bodies.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. And that we didn't look for them. We assumed they'd moved on. They had a fairly detailed number of places they wanted to go to. But that's not what I wanted to tell you. The group that went out to the lake, that was a small part of the group. Yet another group of your colleagues was also here to start with, and went out further past the lake, out towards the glacier, far off to the east, out past Caer Konig, further than any of the 10 towns. And I'm afraid it was they who we had to apprehend and deal with that red wizard for. It was the wilderness guides and associates of theirs, as far as we could tell, people that they'd just spoken to in town here, that were the victims of the Red Wizard before he was caught. And we came up with a story about about his gait, the way he walked, and his voice giving him away, but he was cleverer than that. He could disguise himself using magics that I can't pretend to understand, but we had help. One of the group, a local of sorts, someone who moved here after retiring from a military career, something down below. Are you aware of the Underdark?
Not really.
It is a dark, terrible, treacherous place, caverns, caves, stretching far under this entire continent. And you would have heard of it, definitely. It's where the Drow are from, and various other races, such as the Duergar, dark dwarves, and the Svrfneblin, the dark gnomes. Why would you use any other name? The Svrfneblin. And all sorts of other creatures and kind of aberrations as well. Horrible creatures such as beholders and mind flayers and all sorts of nastiness. And this one particular member of the party they hired locally was guarding them and running security for them, and had been a member of some religious order that used to lead forays into the Underdark to fight the evils that dwell there, and survived until retirement. So she's a tough one, and she proved it when she volunteered to be bait. And it was thanks to her.
Bait?
Yes, it was thanks to her that we were able to capture this red wizard, this Zan, as he came for her, being the last remaining person with any connection to that expedition. And she nearly died for her troubles. She hung in there, though. Like I said, she's a tough one, and nobody else knows this except the speaker, I, and a couple of choice others. But then maybe your new friend Soyala can help. We weren't sure whether to approach her or not, but she is clinging on, and if anybody knows anything about what happened, and if there's any chance of any of your colleagues being alive, and what lies out there towards the glacier, and what it is that Zan was hiding by killing all of these people, trying to silence any word getting out, she'll know.
I'll talk to Sayala about this once we leave town hall.
Yes.
Or we could invite.
Yes. Her name's Birel.
Burrell.
Yes. An elf. Very, very pale. You might think she was one of the drow, but it's just from being in the Underdark so much. I will take you to her. It's the least we can do for, what you can do, and maybe what you can do for the speaker. And she's come, let us return. And she quickly leads you back through to the main room. And as she arrives, shortly behind her, a large, stocky man with a troubled brow, looks very weighed under with the pressures of everything that's going on, comes walking quickly, and he's like, Aragath, these are the ones you told us about, eh? Yes, speaker. Everyone, this is Daneth Whalen, the speaker of East Haven, and you recognize him from when the Red Wizard was being burnt at the stake. He was there, present at that happening. And he's like, thank you all for coming. Sorry to interrupt whatever you were doing.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. I wish it was under better circumstances, but Aragath says you're good at sorting stuff out, and if you can help, it'll be greatly appreciated.
What seems to be the problem?
During the night, intruders broke in. A group, I'm not sure, several in number, enough to overpower the guards that were here on night duty. And they butchered the guards and took something that we had stored away here for safekeeping.
What were you keeping?
It was...
As soon as Colin says that, I'm going to use Detect Thoughts.
On
the speaker.
Okay. Is there a save?
It's just the surface level, so I can kind of get the gist of like the emotions that's kind of going through his head.
Okay.
If I want to probe deeper, then he realizes it.
Anger, worry, sadness, probably for the loss of the guards, and sincerity.
Okay.
And he steeples his fingers on the table, rests his chin on his thumbs, and he's like, a while ago, a group such as yourselves, adventurers, brought something to us that they thought would be useful, of interest, worth something. It was a figurehead. Quite disturbing. Some sort of demonic figure. It reminded me of an old story. There was some trouble recently with it. The guards that shifted it in and brought it into the building, they started acting funny. Even old Reggie, he was the friendliest guard we had. He was everyone's best mate and almost like uncle figure. You know, it's like he was almost going to retire, and they just started being really aggressive and antisocial and very much against the others in their regiment and causing all kinds of trouble and being all surly and not obeying orders and the like. And Arlagath's like, remembering this whole thing. Yes.
And sorry, where did you say you retrieved this?
It was brought up from the lake. It was in the depths of Lac Denashir. They used some telekinesis magic, apparently.
I'm afraid I'm having trouble understanding. You pull this thing out of the lake, that I understand. But when your own watch start going slightly mad, why not get rid of it? Was there a reason to keep it for so long?
We don't know what to do with it. We don't know. We don't want it just out there for anyone to find, especially any people with ill intent, as there apparently were. It was made of this strange black crystal. And we shut it away, out of reach of anyone. No one was allowed access to it. It was only the ones that had touched it that were in any kind of trouble. Oh, I'm sorry. How lax of me. Bad DM. Tom? On a unrelated note, could you make me today's charisma saving throw?
I keep it on the table. $19.
Thank you. They broke in, killed the guards, smashed the statue to pieces, and made off with as much of it as they could. And he reaches into his robes, and he pulls out something wrapped in a very heavy cloth, almost like a sailcloth. And he's like I said, don't touch it.
And you said this was something that reminded you of stories.
It's some old thing me nan used to say.
Do you refer to the demon? Or to?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the stories.
Something that bothered this region for a while, ages ago. I don't know. It's just a story. Someone must have carved the likeness trying to be scary on their ship. Maybe they were some pirates. We used to have lake pirates.
What was the likeness of? Could you describe it?
This demon. This sir too. Yeah. It was like
the
kind of strange, kind of bull, dog-headed, strange thing, wings. Yeah, that's the one. Aye.
I'm just gonna
giant
fuck.
horns.
Did anybody else have that dream last night?
Yes, I too
What?
somehow had a dream.
What?
Ew.
Well, look.
I thought it weird that I just had dreamt about it as well.
I didn't dream it. Arlagath? No. Look,
Occupational hazard.
I don't know what that's about, but if you could find out what's happened, ask around town, find out if anything weird was going on during the night. All right? It's the trail's gone cold. It's snowing like anything out there, and
Well, accompanying the dream, we I at least had visions of a white figure, none too similar to what took place with that seance. And I think with that happening just last night, there might have been something going on.
You think, and Arlagath says, you think that maybe the presence of this figurehead did something with the seance?
I'm not exactly sure of the correlation, but I don't know. There's something wrong going on with that night just having a death. I mean, yes, deaths happen, but not here.
This needs to be sorted. And the speaker says, look, find it if you can. Bring it back. I'll pay you well. I'll give you 50 gold pieces for every piece that you retrieve. Look, it looks like this. And he takes up that sackcloth and slowly unwraps it, and it's wrapped very thoroughly inside this thing and tied with twine around it. And he slowly unlooses the pack and unravels the binding and opens up the sackcloth, rolling it across the table. And as he does so and lifts the cloth away, there's a clink, clink, clink. And into the middle of the table rolls a shard. Jagged, angular, breaks, black reflective surface that you've seen before. Mame, Mockingbird, Tom. It's the same crystal that was inside that creature. Inside the head of that creature in Goodmead. That's not Goodmead, sorry. Dugan's Hall. The same substance that Tom mentioned is inside him. And we shall stop there. So,
Up with my group.
So I'll be going back to Alvin's now.
Oh no.
Oh,
The thought flicking.
good luck with the endless winter.
Yeah, my only good lead into this, but they're all crazy.
I'm not crazy. I'm just a not.
Or bring bad luck.
I do not bring bad luck. I resent that.
Many deaths.
I can't argue with that.
We're not responsible for any of those. They read the fine print.
Thank you so much, everyone. That was a lot of good RPing stuff there. We managed to sneak in an occasional roll for a dice or two. I'm so glad you took on your natural form, Mockingbird. I was waiting for that. I was wondering when it was going to happen. I was like,
14 sessions in. Yeah.
So that's pretty good. That's pretty, yes, that's nice. It gives it time to be a surprise and to have gotten used to and then to address it later on. Mummy.
Build up and then learn about me being a Sherpa, rather. Or was I the hiking guide?
The guide, yeah, the mountain guide.
Okay.
Hiking guy.
Pretty nice. Well, I'm sure we'll figure out just how bad of a hiking guide I was.
Val, thank you, Val, for that subscription. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Do join us, and there's much more to enjoy as well. We shall be back here in the town hall to figure out what is going on and try and decide what this statue means and why it was broken up and stolen, and by whom, and also what is going on with Mame's lost colleagues, what lies out in the frozen ice towards the glacier and beyond. We shall be back in Icewind Dale next Tuesday But before that, please do swing by the channel again, because on Thursday evening, we won't be here in Icewind Dale. We'll be back in Barovia for the Curse of Strahd. Also, an interesting situation that they find themselves in. Yes, with all those dream pies, let them fly. Thanks, Quest Junkies. And also, Friday night. I do pick the nicest locations. Yes, Tom will be here in another guise, shifting forms like our Mockingbird himself, as he plays Firemore, the Dragonborn Pit Fighter, in the Descent into Avernus, down in the Nine Hells, ramping up, accelerating through, and crescendoing to a finish, getting closer and closer. Can Elturel be saved from Avernus and raised back to the material plane? And coming soon, something to look forward to in the future, I'm afraid. Not before we're back in Icewind Dale, but stay tuned and give our Twitter a follow, because February 18th, having spoke of it tonight, we shall be delving into the Underdark even further and dealing with more demons than R2, as we have a new campaign and 4 new players to the channel, one of them completely new to D&D, as we shall be diving into Out of the Abyss. And that will be starting February 18th, but as I say, please check out the Twitter, as we will start to introduce those characters to you. And if you missed it, we had a character creation stream last week, so go over to the VODs and have a look at that, and meet our lovely new players, including our good friends, Carney Sideshow over in Taiwan, our new player down in Tokyo, and a player from my first ever campaign, Dragon Heist, which was offline, I'm afraid, but Stephen down in New Zealand will also be joining us as we go further afield, and Phoenix flies to more and more countries, more and more time zones. And I hope that we can see you again soon. And to all my lovely players, thank you so much for a lovely session. I can't wait for next week to carry on the story. And as we like to say around these parts, Oyasumi nasai.
Oyasumi nasai.
Oyasumi nasai.